In today's cook, we are making the iconic sandwich, the Croque Monsieur. This is a French recipe that elevates the humble ham and cheese toasted sandwich to indulgent levels. This is the air fryer version, so it's pretty simple, and I know that you're going to absolutely love this. So this is the shopping list. Not too many ingredients, but you're going to want some white bread, thicker the better. You're going to have some cheese and some butter. And of course, you're going to want some ham. Now, I've got a cooked ham here, but sliced ham from the supermarket, any type of ham that you can find is going to make an incredible sandwich. You're going to want some Dijon mustard, some salt and pepper, some milk, and some plain flour. So let's cook. The first step is to start preparing the ingredients. I've started by slicing my ham. Now, as I said, sliced ham is great. Last week, I made a cooked ham gammon joint in the air fryer. So if you want to check out how easy that was and the fact that it made so much ham for such a fraction of the price, you might be interested. Then obviously I grated up my cheese. I went for extra mature cheddar. If it's not extra mature, is it really cheddar? Next step is to warm through your milk. I put it in the microwave for a couple of minutes. That was 250 mils. We then got our butter, which was 25 grams, and we melted that in the pan. This is the step to make the bechamel sauce, which is the iconic element of the Croque Monsieur. Once that butter is all frothy and melted, we then add 25 grams of plain flour. So it's 25 of each. Mix this through so the flour is completely combined, and you want to cook down the flour, and it'll end up with a kind of creamy consistency. If it already goes pretty dry and dough-like, you've got the measurements wrong. You've got too much flour. It's too dry. Okay, so you see, it's once it's all cooked through, it's really nice and creamy. And here's where we start to incorporate the warm milk. Do it a few drops at a time, and you'll see as soon as the milk hits the pan, it starts to thicken up. It starts to want to become solid. So you incorporate the milk, mix it all in, and then keep doing this over and over and over again to make sure that it is a nice, smooth consistency of your sauce. And as time goes on, the milk will make it more of a sauce rather than keep reforming it into a thick paste like substance. And you're going to end up basically with the good old-fashioned traditional bechamel sauce, as you can see. And it should end up being somewhat runny, but you actually want it to be quite thick. Some people will take it so far so it is ridiculously thick. My preference is that it's still a little bit runny. You're now going to want to season it with some salt and pepper. And I also add in a few teaspoons of the Dijon mustard at this stage. This is a point where you could basically add any sort of flavoring you want to flavor up your sauce and maybe incorporate different types of flavors, herbs and spices. You know, just mix it up. But we're talking about the traditional one. So we're going to start putting this sandwich together. The first step is to get our bread and coat one slice with that bechamel sauce. Then put a layer of your ham. You can be as generous as you like with the ham. Once you've got the layer, I like to then add more of the Dijon mustard over the meat before putting on my cheese. That was my extra mature cheddar, but you can use any cheese that you like at this point. Doesn't really matter. You just want that cheesy, gooey nature, but for me, the sharpness of the extra mature really hits the spot. We then finish the sandwich by putting it together, And then the last step before we start cooking this bad boy is to spread some butter on the top side of this sandwich. Move across to the air fryer, set it up for 10 minutes at 200 degrees, slam that in the air fryer and cook it. Now, I cooked it through to 7 minutes. What you could do is cook it for 3 minutes, flip it, put some more butter on the top side so both sides are brown, but it's not that important. The bottom side will crisp up slightly, it just won't go golden. So I would recommend that you flip it halfway through. You can see we did about 6.5 minutes. And then I've got this silicone basket because, sometimes it can get a bit messy. The cheese starts to run. I thought, let's just help myself out for once in my life. And I then got the bechamel sauce out again, and you put a complete coating of that on the top side of the sandwich, followed by the rest of your cheese. So you're going to have half of the cheese inside the sandwich, half on the outside. You can see it's looking pretty good. We're then going to stick it in the air fryer again. You can see it's 3.5 minutes to go. Slam that in, and then once it's done, it comes out looking absolutely fantastic. The cheese should be essentially molten level, nice and gooey. The rest of the sandwich should be super crispy, and the cheese on the inside, the sauce is going to be super oozing and gooey, because that's how we made our bechamel sauce, combined with that additional cheese. You can see there, looks absolutely superb, is going to go down a treat. So let's flip the camera across and see exactly what this tastes like. Hi guys, welcome back to the taste test. Today's cook was a Croque Monsieur, which is essentially a toasted cheese sandwich. We did part of it utilizing the air fryer for convenience, but we did make our own bechamel sauce, which is a crucial element of a Croque Monsieur. You could also make a croque madame, which has basically a fried egg on the top, which is just like a little bit of a Brucey bonus. Now, I've been to Paris, 4 or 5 times in the past, and each time I have had a croque monsieur or a croque madame. Once it wasn't great, but a lot of times it's been really, really good. The last time I went to Paris was with my son, and if you go to the Eiffel Tower, and you can walk down and then walk up those steps, so basically where everyone gets a great photo, I think it's called something like Trocadero. We found a restaurant somewhere near there that did absolutely fantastic croque monsieurs. They were so good, even impressed my son. He was absolutely loving it. But I just thought I would make a croque monsieur today, because I made the air fried ham just a couple of days ago. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out. Makes really, really, you get a nice little gammon joint, cook it in the air fryer, and you get an absolute boatload of ham to use how you want. And when you think of the price of the sliced hams in the packet, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, because it's like the equivalent weight of ham that you get is about 1/10 of the price. But we're here for the taste test, so it's really important that we actually go through with that. So as you can see, hopefully you've already seen it, we've got this. We have got toasted on both sides. So it's nice and toasted on both sides. I've seen toasted air fried sandwiches in the past, and I can tell from the video that the underside of the sandwich is not toasted in the slightest. So there we go. Let's go for it. Wow. Dijon mustard. Tasting so good. Creamy, salty, cheesy, meaty, crispy. You're basically touching on every single flavor profile that you would want in a sandwich. This is great. This is so worth the effort. If you really want a sandwich and take it to the next level, this is always going to be the one that I would recommend. And there are a few steps, and we could have done this all in a pan. So we could, instead of using the air fryer, we could have done a pan and fried it in butter and whatever. But just simple to put it in the old air fryer and do that process instead. So. Oh, that bechamel sauce, so creamy, so rich, and the Dijon, as I've said, wonderful. If you've liked what you see, remember, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a Croque Monsieur or a Croque Madame. Do you prefer the Madame one? Let me know if you're going to give this a go, and hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you soon for another video.